So a lot of people in here, we were excited. A quick plug, Susan Fountain had Republican at every one of her election sites in Dallas. Dana Trowbridge is the party secretary and the primary administrator in Tarrant, and for the first time ever, we had a Republican elections judge in every early voting location and election day. And folks, that is a huge impact on election integrity. I'm just going to tell you. That is the first thing, because like the chairman said, when something happens, when you have a Republican that you can call immediately and they can tell you exactly what happens, and you call the county administrator for the election, it fixes things pretty darn quick. Anyway, enough about that. So we held where we needed to. We had some pickups in some areas that were purplish swing areas. We had a lot of seats that we just barely missed, and to me those are wins because it was an improvement over what we had before. And then we're supposed to expand the map. So I think that we were successful in doing all of those things. I'm not going to sit up here and ramble on and on and on, but I do want Virgil to talk a little bit about the numbers. You have them up on the screen.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for all your work, and Becky and the rest of the committee. It was just a pleasure to be able to help these 84 candidates that we contributed to this cycle. So I'm not going to go through all of this. This is in the digital drive, so you have all of this information for you, and it's all public now. So we are proud that we spent money on 84 candidates. As you can see, we won 40, lost 44. You know, we gave to a lot of close races. As you can see, we broke it down by office type, the amount of money we spent on the winners, how many there were for each office type. And we can scroll down. We also wanted to analyze how we did in different size counties. So in the largest counties, we struggled. We did give a lot of money in Dallas and Tarrant and Bexar, and although we won the Tarrant ones, some of the other urban counties like Harris, we just missed it, just barely, just painfully close. But we were happy to give money to counties from all around the state, both north, south, east, west, urban, suburban, rural, and by round, you can see that we had 2 funding rounds. Some candidates we gave money in both rounds, and then you can see how that broke down. So we identified some people who needed money, and a lot of those won who we only gave in the second round. By performance, I want you to notice how many of these races were wins between 55% and losses that were above 45%. So the bulk of our money was given to highly competitive races, and we did the best we could on the front end to identify which races those would be, so we could make your money, the money that you raise for this committee, because this is really your committee as an SREC, the money that you raise from the grassroots to make it worthwhile for our candidates. We also broke it down by county, as you can see, so you can download that and peruse it at your leisure. We've got the results for all of the candidates, the amount of money that we gave. So if you see those candidates that won, please congratulate them and remind them that you backed them, that the CRC backed them, and we want to see great things from them. And for the ones who lost, let's work on them and work on those races and see if we can't get them next time. But please note how many of these were so close, these 48.5 and 59.5, and some close wins too. You know, a State Board of Education race, for instance, in the Coastal Bend area that, and LJ Francis, I'll point him out just as a really close race that we gave some money to, and we were proud to see him win along with so many others. Williamson County was another highlight. You can see that all of the races in Williamson were close, and we gave money to several of them. So scroll down. We gave some money, as you can see, in several State Board of Education races. I believe we won 4 of the 6 State Board of Education races, and we won 4 of the 6 Court of Appeals, including that one in Harris, or 2 in Harris County that we gave money to. We won those back in our candidates there. So also that, want to point out that gray district on the Court of Appeals, that's the Aaron Pena race, so I believe that's a pickup too. So some great wins, and there's where we gave money in single county or part of single county races, and it's got the wins/losses. So if anyone has any questions about that, just please let us know. And again, thank you for all of your support for the committee, and let's start raising money for 2024. So.
Thanks, Virgil. I want to close with two things. You're going to start hearing more from us. We're going to start trying to work in January for the 2024 general so that we're up and running and ready. Like Virgil said, you're going to be hearing more about money. On the money front, you'll get your key pins. If I can't get them mailed to you, you'll get them at the next meeting. We got our donation data a little bit late for us to sort it out by SD, but I'll make sure so many of you are going to get key pins because you've met your goal. But we ask our SREC for $1,000 a year, give a raise, or $2,000 a cycle, and a lot of you have gotten that number, but it starts over because we have a new year and a new cycle. So I'll get some more information out to you. The one thing Virgil didn't say that I want to point out is we supported races in all 31 senatorial districts. We were cognizant of that. Thank you all for your help in getting the word out. Thank you for all you do. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. That was I was just saying that was a great percentage, considering that that we usually don't give money to incumbents or people who are expected to win because they generally get funding from elsewhere, and that's an excellent percentage considering we were trying to push long shot races and races where we weren't favored over the finish line. I call upon Susan Fountain to present the party organization committee report.
I just want y'all to know that I'm firmly in control of my weapon at this time. Sorry. Just wanted y'all to know where it was. Anyway, I may be the most blessed SREC member. I have to claim that because I'm so empowered to work the party organization agenda in my own county party in Dallas. And it is so wonderful to work with Jennifer Stoddard Hoydu. We work hand in hand. She's in the office every day, and it's just a blessing to be able to have her guidance and leadership in Dallas County. So Jennifer, I thank you if you're watching online. And we did have some disappointments in Dallas County, but we were able to make great strides. We started building our team, which was basically non-existent 15 months ago, and we were able to build up our election team, our workers. And we so appreciate the kind donation from the party of $7,500. We used that to recruit. We started out recruiting poll watchers. And when we didn't find any interest, we didn't lose that opportunity. We went down the list. Well, how about being a precinct chair? How about being how about coming in and working in the office? So we milked that for all it was worth. At the same time, we also trained all of our election workers to be poll watchers. So we empowered all of our election workers to be poll watchers. They were in the election location from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. They never left. And we had everything covered. Not to diminish the fact that we still need poll watchers who are totally directed at problem election places. But when you have a Republican presence in every location, it sure cuts out their availability to cheat. We just want to make sure that every legal vote is counted, and we don't want the Democrats want the illegal votes to count too. So what would be the logic in appointing a Democrat chair to our Election Integrity Committee. We always have that opportunity, so we have a bus coming down to Austin on January the 12th in order to witness the vote for that. So we are hoping that we have a huge impact on banning Democrat chairs. I had some pushback from somebody who said, I don't agree with your logic in banning Democrat chairs. We should have a tit for tat. I said, well, with your logic, we would have had at least 75 to 80% of our legislative priorities passed in the last session. Since 2021 when we took over the majority of the House. So it's a little crazy to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So, but in Dallas, we are still continuing to build our party. We've set the structure in place, and we're just going to continue to build on that. I highly recommend that all of our SRECs work with their party chairs, especially in the large counties where they think they can't win anymore. If you raise up the right flag, you're certainly not going to get anywhere. So again, the logic of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is silly. So, and also our party chairman, Jennifer Stoddard Hoydu, she's leading the pack, especially in the larger
Upon a
communities.
time, every student of history, and that meant pretty much everyone with a high school education, knew this. The Democratic Party was the party of slavery and Jim Crow, and the Republican Party was the party of emancipation and racial integration. Democrats were the Confederacy, and Republicans were the Union. Jim Crow Democrats were dominant in the South, and socially tolerant Republicans were dominant in the North. But then, in the 1960s and 70s, everything supposedly flipped. Suddenly, the Republicans became the racists, and the Democrats became the champions of civil rights. Fabricated by left-leaning academic elites and journalists, the story went like this. Republicans couldn't win a national election by appealing to the better nature of the country. They could only win by appealing to the worst. Attributed to Richard Nixon, the media's all-purpose bad guy, this came to be known as the Southern strategy. It was very simple. Win elections by winning the South. And to win the South, appeal to racists. So the Republicans, the party of Lincoln, were to now be labeled the party of rednecks. But this story of the two parties switching identities is a myth. In fact, it's three myths wrapped into one false narrative. Let's take a brief look at each myth in turn. Myth number one, in order to be competitive in the South, Republicans started to pander to white racists in the 1960s. Fact, Republicans actually became competitive in the South as early as 1928 when Republican Herbert Hoover won over 47% of the South's popular vote against Democrat Al Smith. In 1952, Republican President
We've got to keep putting our message out in front of even the Republicans in your rural areas. So also help your county chairman keep their websites current, and if we can help in any way, we have a wonderful precinct chair up in Dallas County who has made our website. We started out with 400 hits a month. We had 64,000 hits on our website 30 days before our election. So we're continuing to get our message, and those were new visitors. So we're continuing to get our message out, and we're not going to quit. now we have only 2 elections coming up in the next year, constitutional and municipal and school board. And so we have a little breathing room in order to refocus on building our structures all across our state. Just wanted you to know how much I appreciate all of y'all who are able to participate. I appreciate our party organization. I'm sorry. Would y'all stand up? I'd like to recognize everyone who serves on the party organization committee. Thank you. Sorry, I'm a little fuzzy-headed today, so they say if you don't have allergies by the time you get to Austin, you've sure got them by the time you leave. So anyway, also I wanted to call to your attention all of the SRECs who are county chairs. If y'all would stand up, we have a few of them. Thank you. They're doing double duty. That's all, too. They're doing double duty, and it's a yeoman's work. So, but I just wanted you to know to let all of the county chairs are ex officio members of our party organization committee, and they're welcome to have input to our party organization. We will be adding them to our list of committee meetings, and they change every 2 years, and so sometimes the new ones don't get the message. So if you all could help us pass out that information, it would be great. So I'll yield back the rest of my time. Thank you all very much.
Call upon Jerry Fisher to present the Partnerships and Coalitions Committee report.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I do offer dance lessons, so anyone who would like to take some dance lessons, I'm there. My committee is, thank you to them, Karen Marshall, my vice chair, Rachel Horton, our secretary, Maggie Witt, Fernando Trevino, Galen Devine, Elaine Cook, and Jill Glover. Thank y'all so much. We got it done. And we are in the process of updating the website, the RPT website. And for those of you that were here, we did change auxiliaries over to partnerships. So all the auxiliaries were changed to partnerships. Oh, before I get started on the report, thank you to Bob Hall. He is my senator, and he was the only one here last night. Thank you so much, Senator Hall. Thank you. Okay, so we're updating the website, and we asked all of the partnerships that wanted to renew their status to sign a letter, send in all the documentations, and it's all been sent in by 5, 7 of them, and those documentations are now being put into our folder in the website. So we're getting it started, yay, and I would like to thank TFRW, Texas Young Republican Federation, the Juan Seguin organization, Texas Asian Republican Assembly, and the Pachyderm Club, and the Texas Republican County Chair Association. Thank you to all of those. And if you know of anyone statewide, right, Galen? Statewide that would like to be a partner, please have them contact me, and I'll send them the application. Thank y'all. Merry Christmas. Is Edgar here? We'll get him later. I have a special guest that would like to say some things, but he's not here right now. I'll get back to him.
We are ahead of schedule. So If there's no objection, we can get rules out of the way now. Does anybody object? Hearing none, call upon Steve Evans to give the report of the Rules Committee. Mike, can you pass out the clickers, please?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Please take your seats. Everyone have a clicker. Where's Mike in the oh, okay. Oh, okay.
No. This is 2 minutes. If you'll just let me do it real quick. It's out of the way.
true. This is not time. It's not very good with time.
We're still so far ahead of schedule.
Hey. That'll work. Should be 10 or 15 minutes. After lunch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, we've got a quick rules report. It will require a vote. Virgil's got it on the screen. It changes no wording in the bylaw, but what it does is just reorganizes and makes the bylaw a little bit clearer. So we're calling it a non-substantive change to the bylaw, but just breaks it up and makes it a little bit easier to read. Rules Committee member and member of Party Org, Chuck out of SD whatever, 20, brought that to our attention, and I think it's good. The committee had zero debate and immediately concurred. Mr. Chairman, I move adoption.
Is there any discussion on the amendment to the rules? Seeing none, we'll close debate. How close are we to being done? And Mike, can you bring 28M up here when you're done? Yes, sir.
Do you have it?
I got one. Yep. Okay, does anyone not, okay. Does anyone not have a clicker? Does anyone not have it? Okay. Please take your seats. Please vote with your voting buttons. If you're in favor of the rules amendment, please indicate by pressing 1. If not, please indicate by pressing 2 or press 3 to abstain. Can you put the voting results on the screen? You can vote now. By the way, the software's glitching that shows the totals. So when we vote on things that are not going to be unanimous, they are going to have to take time to actually count. Okay, we're not going to get the bar graphs, but your clickers do work. Dale? Oh, okay. Just calling out people who didn't vote. Kelly? Cooper? What do you got? What's the number? 61? By a vote of 61 ayes, 0 nays, 1 abstention, the rules amendment passes. Is that it?
Just quick comments. The Bylaws Committee is picking back up the work of the last biennium and doing a cleanup. We actually pledged to get it finished this time. If you have bylaw amendments that don't drastically change anything, you see something you want to clean up, you can submit them to the committee and let us work on them without going through notice and trying to get it done right away, and we can take those and add them to the cleanup effort rather than taking them at a meeting. Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thanks to my committee. My final item is Go Navy, Beat Army.
Steve, not quite so fast. It's come to my attention that you've been running your mouth saying that you can beat the SREC members in a foot race. Mr. Evans, I accept
Mr.
the
Brooks.
challenge. So,
Mr. Brooks,
in the parking lot
it
at
was
lunch.
not SREC members, it was Virgil Cruz.
I have no idea. Thank you. Is Senator Huffines here? You got it. Okay, I'd like to introduce and thank Senator Don Huffines for sponsoring our meeting and our lunch on behalf of the Huffines Liberty Foundation. I invite Senator Huffines to address the SREC.
Thank you, Patriots. Hello, Patriots. Everybody have fun last night? The bar wasn't open too late, was it? No, good. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Well, I just want to have a few words here, and I want to thank, of course, Chairman Rinaldi for giving me the opportunity and for running a great state party. I mean, is he doing a great job? I want to talk about a couple of things. First, my favorite thing is our party platform. I just love our party platform, as y'all know, and it's what you work on. It's what we all work on, and from the grassroots level all the way up. To give you just a quick story on that, in 2008, when I was a delegate to the National Convention, I just loved our party platform so much. I've been delegate to many, many state conventions, that I boxed up 2,500 copies of the party platform and shipped them to the National Convention. And then I paid the interns, tipped them a little bit, to put it on every chair. So every delegate to the National Convention could see how great our party platform was in the state of Texas. But I just want to point out that a lot of times our legislators don't pay a lot of attention, right, to our platform, unfortunately. Because it has the answers, it has the solutions to everything. It is a great read. It's a great thing we need to pay attention to, and we worked hard. And Jill did a great job last session. Congratulations, Jill. The best it's ever been to getting the message out on the platform. And so, but let me just point out, two things we can do to communicate. They've already started their messaging right now in Austin, as you know. Oh, we don't need to pay attention to it. It doesn't pertain to us. It's a bunch of the grassroots. We don't listen to that. And I say, really? You don't want to listen to the platform? Well, let me tell you something. We've got to give them courage. Just as the chairman was saying about what happened in Florida, we can make that happen in Texas. You'd be surprised how many of them have not read our platform. I mean, they really haven't. First thing we got to do is get them to read it. And then they're going to really figure out that they probably do agree with it. I mean, the fundamental reason they don't want the platform, when I was there, I took it everywhere I went when I was in Austin, the Senate, from 14 to 18. And most of them just, they don't pay attention to it, and they make fun of it and things like that. But most of them hadn't read it. If you read it, they're going to find out that they really do agree with it. They really will. And second, you got to give them courage. As a politician, most politicians, they don't have courage. They don't want to get out of the foxhole, to go fight. They don't want to lead the charge. That's a dangerous, risky thing. So how many politicians you ever heard that campaigned on an issue, and the solutions to the issue? They campaign on the issue, but not the solutions. Well, we've got the solutions. We got to tell them and encourage them that we can be like Florida. We can win 20 points. If we get Dallas County back, I don't know, Susan, we're getting 2-1, we're getting beat up there because we don't communicate clearly our solutions to the issues, and they're right here in the platform. Well, guys, I got good news, real good news. You've got reinforcements, and it's called the Huffines Liberty Foundation. That's my new organization. And it is specifically to focus on our main issues that are really not even that partisan. I mean, who doesn't want to get rid of some of the property tax? I mean, most people don't want to pay more property tax. It's taxing us out of our homes, our businesses. So I've got a great paper that we're coming out with. It's a 3-part paper. 2 parts of it are already out, and then we're going to have a summary sheet on that issue. 2 of them are out. The 3rd paper will be out this week with our policy. They're about 15 pages, but they're very informative. And the 3rd paper is going to give the real clear solutions of how we can phase out the M&O tax on school tax. Right now, I'll just give you a quick summary. About half the tax is paid by businesses, and about half the tax is paid by local tax. So where we're going, half the tax is paid by the state of Texas, and then half the tax is paid by locals. And of the local tax that's paid, about half is paid by businesses. So we're just going to get the state of Texas to pay it all of it. And it's not that difficult. We're talking about fiscal discipline. If we have, and you'll see in my paper, we've got all the numbers. It's really a great piece of work. It's taken months to get it all together. We got all the finances. But if we don't increase the state budget at all, if we keep it at 0, we can eliminate it in 6 years. If we keep state growth spending at 3%, we can eliminate it completely in 12 years. And this means that the state of Texas is going to use all of its money buckets to supplement the property tax from the local districts. Well, instead of the state paying approximately 50% of the M&O, we're going to pay 100% of it. And we can cut your taxes. This is very achievable, and now you're seeing the legislators already backing away from it. You know, you're seeing Dan Patrick, and I'm not calling people out, but we can't do that because of the budget. A tax cut is a spending and this and that. Look, that is absolutely just nothing but a smoke screen. They could do anything they want to do if they've got the will and the courage to do it. It happened when Rick Perry was governor. You can suspend the fiscal constraints in the Constitution by just calling the legislature to do it. You can change the Constitution by passing a resolution to change the Constitution if we want to. We can cut state spending and we can cut your taxes and we can get that done. But that's all in my paper. I'm going to set them out here so you guys can read that, and it really is a great piece of work. Thank you. One other quick issue. The number one issue we're facing is the border. I've got a great comprehensive plan that the Huffines Liberty Foundation does to secure the border. But let me tell you, I've been calling for Article 1, Section 10 for 2 years now for the governor to enact that. But it's really more than using Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution to secure the border with the military. We can do so much without even doing that, and I'm telling you, we've got to put the incentive to Mexico. We've got to put the economic pressure on Mexico, and that's what no one's really talking about. They respond to it extremely well. Trump's number one issue, when he threatened to tariff the border, got a lot more secure. The federal government's never going to secure the border. The only hope's with Texas. So how do we put that economic pressure on Mexico? By making sure we stop some of the truck traffic like Abbott was doing. We do it more regularly. But there's a lot of other things. Tourism is their number one industry in the state in Mexico. Mexico's a huge country, very dynamic. 12% of their GDP comes from tourism. We can start an advertising campaign, perfectly legal, no court challenges, to destroy their tourism industry. We can just flip up the video. You can put it on Fox News and you can see all the murders that are going on, how the cartels have taken over everything, and we can fix it so no one will want to go to Mexico. And they're going to freak out. I mean, they're really going to freak out. If we cancel Operation Lone Star, where we're spending tens of millions of dollars a day, $4 billion, and we put it all on advertising across North America, across the world. Don't go to Mexico. You're going to get murdered and killed. And you might. But you did that. Well, those people are going to just absolutely do whatever they do to secure the border. They can secure that border anytime they want. Mexico can. They've got almost a bigger military than we do. Why don't they secure it? Why are we spending billions of dollars to secure the border? They keep, it's like your neighbor cutting your fence down or taking your fence down every time you're having a backyard party, you know, and drinking your beer or something. I mean, they're being very bad neighbor. We got to make sure they secure their side of the border. And another thing we can do is perfectly legal. Every aircraft that lands in the state of Texas bringing in tourists from Mexico, we can search that aircraft for drugs. I'm talking about airliners. And it just might take a week to get that done. It might take 3 weeks to get that done. We need to take the seats out. We need to take the tires off. We need to do whatever we need to do. And we can do that perfectly legal. We already have the authority to do that. We can shut down their #1 industry, and I can tell you, they will have the Mexican Marines on that river, up and down the river, to make sure the cartels do not send one more person across it. But there's a lot of that in my plan. Thank you. There's a lot of that, and that border plan will be back there. The more comprehensive on that is coming out this week, and I want you guys to get on the website. You can look it all up. We've got great ideas, and I'm using your ideas because you guys are so involved. I want to thank you all so much for spending your time and your treasure for the great GOP in the state of Texas. I love you guys, and I appreciate everything you're doing for our liberty, for prosperity, and our freedom. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. Who's got a 10-minute report? Who wants to go? Yeah, I'm not doing resolutions. Hold on one second. We do, hey, is Debbie Duke here? Do you want to go? Are you less than 10 minutes? Perfect. If there's no objection, we'll take election integrity out of order. Hearing none, I call upon Debbie Duke to present the Election Integrity Committee report.
Thank you. This is a Lucy Trainer double dare to wear my sweater today. So anyway, and I love to talk about the paper ballots, so I'm going to start with paper here. One of the things that I'm a proud Floridian, so I have to make a remark about Florida. I so agree with what everybody's saying about Florida. And Florida, what they do there is the message is to the individual. Like the chairman said, freedom. It's not about the business. It's not to be #1 in business or all those business-focused things. It's about people-focused things. It's about the individual focus. So I'm proud of Florida. And so we went into executive session and had a report. I'm not going to go into that because it was an executive session. Right after that, we had Bob Hall come in and do a presentation on his upcoming legislation. And I'm going to read a little bit from that because I don't want to get any of that wrong. So he gave a presentation on his planned legislation. It's not out yet, on the topic of election integrity. Some of his presentation included the following observations. The current process, computers, and softwares have significantly degraded the transparency, accuracy, and accountability of Texas elections. And we currently have 3 separate voting processes, 2 in-person processes, early voting and election day, and we also have a different code of rules and regulations for those, and the same thing for mail-in voting. We have a 3rd set. So while there are many details in Senator Hall's plan, part of his overall answer is to combine EV and ED into a single continued period of time, not a single, no gap in there, but a period of time, so that one set of rules would apply. So simplification. 20 states do this, according to his research, 20 states currently do this now, so it's doable. Also affecting the simplification of the election code. We look forward to his bills that will be coming out soon and learning more about his plan, which he's readily to tell you about thank him so much for being here, and we want to thank him for his support for election integrity going forward. One of the things the committee's going to be doing is we're going to be breaking out and participating in some national calls that it helps inform us on things that are going on here in Texas as well. So, you know, some of those topics are going to be election technology, so our machines. We have to concentrate on the machines. Things that are going on college campuses, vulnerable voters like nursing homes, and UOCAVA, which is our military, how the military votes, and overseas residents. I think it's more about the overseas residents, but and then there will be one on ERIC. And if you don't know what that is, it's Electronic Registration Information Center, and it's bad news, and it is one of our platform, I think it was 266, to get rid of ERIC. So we will be branching off into those areas and bringing back information to the group so that we're informed on what's going on a national level. We have 8 different topics in our LP priority for election integrity. So as to not get over there and not take a buckshot approach through the Standing Committee for Election Integrity, we're going to be concentrating in areas of anything machine related, okay, mail-in ballots, and via the service signature verification. I don't know if anybody else had problems with signature verification, but my county sure did. Also, voter rolls. We've also worked on voter rolls in my county. I know several counties have. The ability to execute is what we need, because even though we send it in there, we have no verification, no accountability if it's not done, it seems, and no verification. So we want to try to, in legislature, find a way to make that more doable. And of course, ERIC is rolled into that with being the voter rolls. So smaller, more specific things that we're going to focus on is banned ranked choice voting in all Texas elections. So I know a lot of people think there's not a concern for that in Texas. There is a national push for ranked choice voting, and right now you'll see it. They're discussing coming out of Georgia, where they had to go straight into a runoff. They're calling it runoff fatigue. And so what they're pushing is when you vote, then they're going to go ahead and just in case that runoff doesn't work out, let's just have you rank them down here on the bottom underneath. So let's just go ahead and eliminate it in all of Texas so we don't have to worry about what's going on here in this national. And also stopping waivers practice from the Secretary of State. So anyway, thank you to all the hard work from my committee. Do y'all want to stand real quick, please? Great. Thank you. They're working hard. Thank you to all of y'all, and Merry Christmas.
Yes. Are you trying to ask Debbie a question? It's just the volume level, but Troy's not here. Good. No.
Okay, thank you. No problem.
Okay, we're going to break for lunch now. Please be back in your seat by 12:45, and we'll stand at ease.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can we encourage folks just to leave your clickers at your seats, and that way we don't have to put them all away? And
Yes,
dig them all out
please do
again?
so. Leave your clickers at your seats so we don't have to hand them out again.
Thank you.
you.